So once again, good evening. I'm Unmesh Dikshit from Ahmedabad Management Association. Welcome to the CEO Forum. All the CEOs are welcome. Those who have come for the second time, we are very happy for them. And those who have come for the first time, we are double happy. And they will also come to know what they have missed last time. So our trainer will be sharing about the last time's experience and taking the journey of CEO Forum next today. And the next announcements, everything will be done. Just to make a mindset and expectations clear in the hall, this is a CEO Forum. Intention is to have a learning and knowledge sharing, and the facilitator is Mr. Manoj Onkar. By default, if networking happens, there is a benefit. So please do enjoy the education journey, the learning, the experiences, and the concept, what the trainer is going to facilitate over here. I'll request our Vice President, Dr. Savan Godiawala, to take it forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Unmesh bhai. Good evening, friends. And certainly, first of all, compliments to Unmesh bhai to set it up. And I asked them, ask him and the team that why am I invited today? So he says, Series 1 we invited you, you did not come. And you better come to at least learn. And that is how I am dragged here, so that at least, and I have the best of the person, Manoj bhai, today as our trainer. And so thanks for joining us. This is certainly a very good initiative, and we would like you to come again and again. AMA as a purpose, we have more education for industries. And then we do 200 things around that also. We have some kids coming in also this summer, and we would do it for citizens of Ahmedabad also. We would do some platforms for the CSR or the NGOs also. And as AMA, we do so many programs, almost 700 programs in a year. 700 programs, and many programs would run over days. But the essence that we never forget about is how can we be helpful to industries. Within industries, MSME becomes very important for us, because MSME is where we can, because the larger companies they have their own setup for their own training and their own strategy, growth, etc. So that is where, and we are lucky that we have trainers like Manoj bhai since 94, and I have his introduction in front of me, which I will read out in a moment, that they are also present in Ahmedabad. So it is about one, coming together, two, having a trainer who has the experience of such a wealth of experience that we have. And what Unmesh bhai says, I will differ to an extent that as a bonus networking, I would say networking is as important, because the CEOs meeting CEOs is good for one, the CEOs also, because you get to get some idea, you can pick the brain of the other CEO or pick the brain of the other professional. And not only that, you will also have some ideas of where to go in certain situations that you would always be facing when you meet other people. So I think this is a good group. Networking is, and I was happy, he said that 15 minutes we've kept for networking, and 6:15 we will start. So that 15 minutes also we want you guys, everybody coming in, to use as much as possible so far as the networking is concerned. This is going to be a series. We are going to have one more series 3 in July, if I mistake not, 20th July. So this series goes on. And we are very keen to have as much participation from you guys. Give a feedback also, communicate also if you want to share something, or you want a program to have certain, and then of course the curation will happen. We have our stars, our program committee man Jainil is here. So curation, and then what comes as, which makes sense. Because it is not about what me or Manoj bhai or Unmesh or Jainil wants to give you is what we want to give you. It is what you want. If at all we can curate and get that to you, which makes sense to industry, it makes sense to the leaders of the industry, is what we want to do. One more thing I would like to convey is, we have as AMA, and I hope most of you know AMA and the functioning of the AMA and this infrastructure, of course. But one more thing, that we have the AMA awards, and many awards, Managers Award, Outstanding Entrepreneur awards, which are coming up, and in the next couple of months. Up to July 31st, we are inviting nominations. And when at the forum where I have the senior professionals, senior industry leaders over here, I would please look into it. And if at all, when we go out, we can distribute or give the glimpse of what is required in a nomination. it would be a good idea to have you, you nominating somebody or somebody nominating you for the awards that are coming up that would be happening 31st July. We are as of now thinking of the last date of nominations, and then soon the jury. And these are going to be absolutely independent jury. There's nobody who can bias them, and so independent jury, they will shortly, there's a mechanism, and then there would be a big bang proper function of awards giving out. Not to take more time, I would introduce our instructor for today, Mr. Manoj Onkar, founder of Management Innovations, a 25-year-old and very impressive experience that he has in the domain of organization development. And he's a strategy consultant, a leadership development champion, a master coach, and a master trainer. In the field of transformational education, the name Landmark Forum stands head and shoulders above the rest. And I was talking to him in late 80s, Jainil, when you were maybe in some primary school, not born. So late 80s, there was a Landmark Forum which was such an influence on so many professionals about the commitment and leadership. And the gentleman comes from that times when we were all seeing that the people who were coming out from a Landmark Forum were different, and you can see their commitment in the in whatever they perform as professionals or even as students. So thanks Manoj bhai for coming. Continuing, it was he who established the operations of Landmark in Gujarat, as I mentioned, where he worked as a trainer and seminar leader for several years. Over 30,000 people benefited from his expertise. He is a part of NIS Sparta, the privilege of training, coaching and certifying 125 B2B trainers and coaches. So he's a trainer's trainer also. B2C domain, Manoj molded 100 trainers and coaches, and in the field of academic education too, over 200 teachers that he has mentored and coached. From 2015, Manoj has been involved in transforming the consciousness with which organizations, societies and individuals operate. So he is focusing on, like he mentioned earlier, it was people transformation, now even it is an organization transformation. So he is working in a more holistic, I would say, because people are important. Organization will not get transformed unless people mindset get transformed and are in sync with the organizational goals. The flagship program is called Leadership from Emerging Future. Manoj is also a certified trainer in innovative thinking system by Beacon, Japan, and offers training and consulting in India, Thailand and other countries. So I present before you Manoj bhai, thanks for coming, and as a matter of love and affection, give him a flower, not a floral bouquet, but flower, good, and a book. Thank you Manoj bhai. So nice of you to come. Thank you very much. And over to you, Manoj bhai.
Thank you very much. Just one sec. Hello, can you hear me? Yeah, okay, great. Just one second. Check it. Hi, good evening. So we have met many of you. How many of you could come last time in May? Oh, that's very good. Thank you very much for coming back, right? So it means that some of what I said was making sense, right? That you're willing to invest your time again, right? And then given that a good number of you are here who have attended the last session, so what we will be doing is we will cover some of those topics in a little fast forward way, right? At the same time, it will be useful for the people who didn't attend, and then we will go on to the special topic of the day, okay? Let me just cross check my slide system. Okay, great. So the work that we are talking about is based on Theory U by Dr. Otto Scharmer of MIT. And this work has been developed over last 3 decades. These are the books some of you like to read, and AMA wants to encourage reading. So we recommend that you consider reading these books. And I have also requested AMA to have them in the library. Right? So that would be a good idea. And so this work has been built on the foundation of MIT. Right? And MIT stands for a lot of things, but one of the things that it stands for is systems thinking. Right? If you look at from the beginning of humanity, can we take this chair out somewhere? So from the time religion started, or spirituality conversation started, or psychology started, human beings have been busy fixing people, improving people. What is the job of the parent? Improve children. Nag them till the time they improve. Right? What happens in the school? You try to improve children. Go to the colleges, go to offices, it's all fixing on, like the whole focus is fixing people, developing people, and put them into the right mold. We are saying that's not working, and we have some proof for that. That after thousands and thousands of years of fixing human beings, the planet is not yet fixed. And most of you don't need any data, but those of you who need data, we will give you some data, right? And let me give you that data before I go ahead. So we'll come back to this. We'll move around slides as we require, right? So if you look at the situation on the planet across, and some of you will remember this slide, all the problems that you see in the planet, you can divide them into these three buckets. The first bucket is the ecological bucket. Now when I say eco divide, some people say economics. No, we are talking about ecology. Right? What does it mean? It means that we as human beings are disconnected from nature. It's talking about a disconnect from nature. The second thing we're talking about is the social divide. That is, we as human beings are disconnected from each other. And we'll talk about it. And then the third one is the spiritual divide. That is, we as human beings are disconnected from ourselves. Now some of you may say, oh, what has that got to do with business? Right? That, if you have that question, that itself is pointing towards the three divides. Let's go a little deeper into it. And one of our intention for these sessions is, of course, to add value in your businesses, but is also to bring more awareness of this situation on the planet. Like they say, there is no business to be done on a dead planet. So what is this ecological divide? Ecological divide is talking about that we are using the resources on the planet 1.79 times the regenerative capacity of planet Earth. So planet Earth is available, all of us, all the species can use these resources, but we are using how many times? 1.79 planet. And those of you who love maths, you know if it is less than 1, it's good, because it can regenerate. Beyond 1, you're damaging beyond repair. And couple of years back, we used to say 1.5, now we are saying 1.8, right? So we are in a hurry to destroy ourselves, right? Now the only thing is, will we destroy humanity first or planet first? That is the only question left, right? All of us can have our opinion. The social divide is our disconnect with each other. And we have been very innovative in disconnecting from each other. How? Religion, caste, creed, right? Your geography, your mother tongue, your financial status, your education, your department, your opinion, your political orientation. Just we have found so many ways to divide ourselves. And if you go little deeper, you may realize we are 8 billion lonely people on the planet. If you really allow yourself to notice, we are 8 billion lonely people on the planet. So that's the social divide. And you can see it, measure it in many ways. One of the ways that Otto Scharmer recommends that we look at it, because he has background in economics also. So he says wealth distribution, the inequality of wealth distribution. The number of people that are sitting in this room, if you count the number of people here, approximately that number of people on the planet own more than 50% of the population's wealth. So let's say 8 billion people, so 4 billion. So this is roughly 60 people. 60 people on the planet own more than the bottom 4 billion people. That's the inequality. If we think that is sustainable, then maybe we are not thinking. If you think that's not got anything to do with you, maybe you're not thinking. That's what we thought when COVID started in Wuhan. It was supposed to be a Chinese problem, right? Some people used to even call it a China virus. Very soon they found out they were searching for a hospital bed for somebody they knew, right? So this whole illusion that it is some problem out there, not connected with us, that gets broken very fast. And then we talk about spiritual divide, very important, is we are not connected to our highest future self. You're not connected to your soul. You're not connected to why you are here on the planet. Like I was talking to somebody, most of us are here on the planet for two things, bills and pills. You buy things and you have to pay the bills. You use things, you have to pay the bills. And then you get stressed out of all that, so you have to buy some pills. So what did you do in your whole life? Oh, I bought a lot of pills and I paid a lot of bills. Right? Then very little life is left after that. So the spiritual divide is that we are not connected with ourselves. Why we are here on the planet? What's our purpose? Then what do? You live a hollow life. You live a life where you are not knowing yourself, then you are running after something or the other. Bills and pills, right? Or maybe whatever else. But what it leads to is the hollowness, the anxiety, the stress that we live in. And one of the sad data, some of you may remember, is in spite of all the violence and the natural calamities and everything, more people are killing themselves than are being killed by others. Around 800,000 suicides happen every year. How many of you know somebody, like in your expanded circle, who committed suicide or attempted suicide? Yeah. I was doing a similar workshop online, and one of the consulting friends, he kind of took the mic on Zoom, and he started talking about some great things. Oh, I go to the morning walk, I go for morning walk, I go to the park, I see the lake and this beauty and that and all that. And I was like, what happened to this guy? Like, we're talking something else, he's talking. I said, we are talking about the spiritual divide. He says, what I want you to know is, last August, I attempted suicide. Luckily, I didn't succeed. And now I am having all this wisdom. So what I'm trying to say here is, we need to wake up. We have been busy. We need to wake up. Wake up to that this is happening to us and around us. You and I, we are dealing with the spiritual divide. You and I are lonely. And we are disconnected from nature. We are disconnected from each other. We are disconnected from nature, and we are disconnected from ourselves. It's not happening somewhere in some UN office in USA. No, it's happening with us, in our families, in our house, in our offices. So you have X number of people in your family, right? 4 people, 6 people. It's happening to them. Is the spiritual divide happening with your parents? Yes. With your spouse? Yes. With your children? Yes. With you, yes. With me, yes. Is the social divide happening? Is the disconnect happening? Yes. In your organization, is it happening? Oh, yes. They don't fight on religion, they fight on department. They just have a different fight. Oh, you are from marketing. Ah, you are the pain in the problem. Oh, you are from finance. Huh? Now I know why our company can't grow. You just find the department, silos. And top management versus everybody else. We have so many silos, so many ways to disconnect. It's an illusion that we are a company. We're actually just freelancers pretending to be a company. I just said this recently in an IT company, and after some time, the CEO did not like it initially, but after some time he says, yeah, I think it makes sense. It looks like a company, but it's really not behaving like one. So this is the real situation on the planet. And there's a lot of data available. You can go to Google and find out much more data on this. And as leaders, my intention is that we be aware of it and we spread awareness of this in our own lives, in our own families, in our own organizations. Because that idiot colleague of yours that you are upset about, who knows what he is going through? Maybe he is planning exit, not from the company. You don't want to get surprised. Oh my God, I was about to fire him. He fired himself. We are so disconnected. Now, this is not to scare us, but this is for us to be aware. You don't want to be caught off guard. Oh, I didn't know my children were thinking this way. Oh, I didn't know this is how I show up for other people. No, pause, get connected. So we're going to talk about how you can connect and all that. And when we work with organizations, of course, as Sir mentioned, we work with strategy. But before we work with strategy, we work on culture and communication. And we found out it has made our strategy work very easy. Because without internal communication and communication with the various stakeholders, whatever strategy you are creating is very risky. Right? Okay, so let me pause here, and if you have any questions, comments about this, we can take, and then we'll go on to some other stuff. Do we have mics here? Yeah. This also? Yeah. Okay, so we'll have some mics here. By the way, if people from the back, if you can come up here, we have some chairs here. It will be good. Otherwise, I have to walk in here, and then these people will feel neglected, right? Sorry for that. If we have some chairs here, can you please come up? We got 3-4 chairs here, 3 chairs here, and the top first table, right? That will be great. Thank you very much. Yeah. 2 of you can join here. Thank you. I know you guys must be having to stretch yourself. Maybe you can arrange it. Yeah. Please join. Thank you. Okay. Any questions, comments about this? Yes, please.
How the exact logic of 1% equal to 50%?
Yeah. So I heard you. So it's not actually not 50% also. It is less than 1%. In a way you can say, let me say, less than 1% of the population owns more than 50% people's wealth. So what I was saying earlier, this room size people own more wealth than 4 billion people.
But the social divide.
Yeah. It can be measured in many ways. That is just one of the measure, because our friend Otto Scharmer comes from economic background. So he will always have that context, right? But you can see it in 1,000 other ways, right? How we have divided ourselves, right? Religion is one, geography is one, nation is one, language is one, education, everything. There's so many divides. Financial, you can see the divide, right? Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for the question. Yes. Anybody else? Yes, please.
My question is very basic one.
Please, please.
I may get an answer later, but
Just go ahead with the question. Don't worry.
I just want to know the purpose about you. Like, why did you choose this particular slide to start with?
This is the only slide why I work. This is my real job. And then I have to also pay some bills. But this is my real job, to bring awareness of it. So why Dikshit sir is not here right now, but why we collaborated with AMA was first to spread awareness of this. And as a bonus, we also transform organizations, right? But so this is the main, if we are not aware of this, what leadership are we going to provide on the planet? Whatever leadership we are going to provide, not interested. If it is not, so let me say it another way. So these are 3 divides, right? We use the word divide. So when we work with companies, before that we ask them, after the relationship is built, is your business and is your organization going to heal these 3 divides or going to add to these 3 divides? If you are, after the awareness, before awareness, whatever happened, happened. After awareness, if you are not interested in healing the 3 divides, we have nothing to offer to you. Right? So this is the only reason why we are doing anything that we are doing. Right? Thank you very much. Yes, sir. Can you pass it on, please? Let me just check. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, sir. Yeah, we can say a lot of things about that. Yeah, so we have been working on this Theory U technology for the last 7 years. We have been doing open workshops and in-house consulting. So we have done more than 30 workshops with people from more than 30 industries coming in, more than 10 countries, right? So there has been that way. So you look at IT industries, you look at education, healthcare, industry, manufacturing, government. Recently, we also did a workshop for Lokayukt in Bangalore. Lokayukt, you are aware, right? Yeah, so government and all kinds of industries. So that is one across the world. And secondly, when we do in-house work, consulting, which is our main game, I would say we create magic. And one of the magic is we worked with a company in Thailand, which is a 60-year-old organization. It was in its 3rd generation of leadership. And we helped them, partnered with them to turn around. And in 3 years, after implementing all this, they got the Best Managed Small and Medium Enterprise Award from their Prime Minister, right? So it's not that we certified them, their Prime Minister certified them. That is better than me certifying them, right? Thank you. And secondly, you will find that you and your people will not remain the same people. Right? You will become different human beings, different kind of human beings.
Population from CEO to down level is also important.
Yeah. We worked with this. This was an interesting case. I'll just take some time. This was a small company, 100 people company, right? None of them know English. No, that's not right. 2 people know English, okay, and I don't know Thai language, right? And one of the person was the 2 people who knew English was, one was the CEO and second was one of the sales and marketing director. So he used to translate all the session, and we trained all these 100 people for 3 years. We trained them in culture, theory U, we trained them in strategy, we trained them in strategy execution, we trained them in innovation, everything, and that language was never a barrier. And it percolated down to all the workers. So all the workers there have also done it. See, this is so simple that everybody understands it. And so this is so difficult that nobody wants to do it alone, right? They say, together if we are all willing to change, I am willing to change. If I alone have to change, then nobody wants to change. That you might have noticed, it happens in many other places, right? So there is no problem in percolating. And over the last 30 years, my experience has been, if you are willing to talk in the right language, it is as easy to talk with the CEOs about vision and future of the organization as it is to talk with workers or even security people or even the housekeeping people. And why I am saying that is because I have done it in many organizations. All right. Great. So let's move on. This three divides, this also brings us into what we call, we live in bubble. So some of the bubble. Most of the industries work on the finite resources that the planet offers, but somehow in management we have been trained growth. If you think really, only cancer grows like that. And human beings are becoming the cancer for the planet. Because we are just kind of not living with nature. Tell me, in nature, what keeps on growing crazily? Nothing. There is some design. Human beings, especially when we come in organizations, right, we want to grow crazy. And if you don't talk growth, you are in trouble. We are doing this workshop with a CREDI organization in one of the big cities. And the CEO is saying, my company is a listed company. If I don't talk growth, I won't last the next quarter. Whether I have growth or not, that's separate. But I have to talk growth all the time. But so those challenges are there. But we live in this crazy world of growth. Well, nature is not designed like that. We are crazy about income, but half of the planet is dealing with issues of human rights also. We live in this financial bubble, and then there is a real economy. What is a real economy? Real economy is where you are doing products and services and selling them and getting revenue. That's the real economy. What is the financial economy? When you just create financial instruments, there is no real product, no real service. And that's how the bubbles get created. And whenever the bubble bursts, and always remember the bubble burst, right? There is no decade that has gone where bubble has not burst. Of course, we think, no, this will not burst, but that's going to burst, right? And whenever the bubble bursts, people in the real economy get impacted the most. We don't have to go through all of this, but these are just some of the, what we call as acupuncture points on the planet. Yes, please. Can I have the mic? Thank you.
Thank you. Anant Gizre from Logical Mind Systems. I think there is a difference between personal growth and organizational growth.
Yeah.
So I think, can we differentiate these two growth, or they are linked to each other? And it depends on the
mindset
individual.
problem is the same.
It's depend on the individual whether he want to link his growth with the organizational growth or not.
Yeah, but as I said, the mindset problem is the same. We want to keep growing, right? But luckily, people wake up at an individual level, they wake up a little faster and they realize that just one directional growth is not going to be sufficient, right? In most cases, people wake up faster, but organizations don't wake up that easily. Right? Okay, so all this is there. Now let's go directly to the topic that we wanted to bring in here. So, how many of you are CEOs or the senior leadership team in your organization? Can you just raise your hand? Okay, great. Which means you also have people reporting into you, right? And how many of you have companies with more than 100 people staff? More than 100 people staff? Okay, thank you. And more than 50 people? Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much. So this is going to be interesting for you. I'm going to move through a lot of slides and come to the point that I want to discuss. Okay. Sorry. Okay. What happened? You changed the. Okay, so let's stay with this. Sorry for that. So what we want to now jump directly into, we are kind of skipping a lot of things and jumping into something that most of you should be interested in is, which is organization culture. Is that relevant? Organization culture? Yes, no? Yeah. So there are two types of organization cultures that you will see anywhere. But these are not restricted to organization. This is culture that you will see in any group of people, including your family, your school, your colleges, any group of people, you will notice this. And this one that is on, you see on the screen, this is the most common culture that you will notice. Otto Sharma doesn't call it culture, he calls it fields of conversation. So what is a field of conversation? It's like if you look at electric field or a magnetic field. The individual filaments don't have much choice, is the field, right? So the most common field in our life is what we call as talk nice. It's called what? Talk nice. Talk nice means what? Somebody is speaking, mostly the boss or somebody else. Everybody else has to do what? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Your brilliant idea, sir. It came from your brain. It has to be brilliant. Stupid nonsense. Right? But that is not audible. That time they go on mute. Right? It's a talk nice field of conversation or talk nice culture. And consider it's there in your life. Consider it's there in your organization. Of course, you cannot know it. Nobody is going to tell you that. Right? That we are just saying yes sir, yes sir. Actually, we don't like your ideas. Nobody is going to tell you that. They are going to say what? Brilliant, sir, brilliant. Fantastic. We should do what you said. So in the meetings, everybody agrees. After 2 weeks, when you do a review meeting, you found, yes, everybody still agrees, but nothing has happened. How many of you noticed that the agreement doesn't translate into action? Raise your hand. You wonder, you agreed. Some of them were like, you're so passionate. No, no, sir, this is brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. What happened? Oh, no, my neighbor's dog ran away. No, so I was busy. So this talk nice culture is the cancer of our organization. I want to spend some time here. Because if you get this, and if you can see this in your organization, your time invested here is paid back at least by 100 times. If you can just notice this in your organization. So what happens in the talk nice culture is people speak what according to them is okay in this environment. They speak according to what is okay in this environment. Now, of course, sometimes some new person will come very enthusiastic and he will say, no, 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 I'm ready. So then there will be some senior person sitting there. He'll say, cool down, cool down. So what is the cost? By the way, it is in a way safe for the individual. They are safe. There is a long-term damage to the individual, but there is a short-term, mid-term damage already happening to the organization. And it's like cancer. After some time, the damage is so much you cannot recover. So tell me, what is the impact of this tokenized culture? Now start shouting out. Okay. Brilliant. You are from which industry? Yeah. So one of the things is you will not receive any new ideas. Okay. Now, what is the cost of that to the organization? If you don't receive enough new ideas, you don't know, right? Okay. What are the other costs? What is the other damage of this tokenized culture? Shout out. Everybody shout out. Stagnancy. Okay. Right. Yeah, dissatisfaction among the team. The good people are dissatisfied, the bad people are very happy. Right? Many companies complain of attrition. What they don't complain of, which they should complain of, is the idiots are not going and the smart people are going. It's not only the attrition, it's who is going. That's a bigger problem. Yes or no? Anybody complaining that the idiots are going? Nobody is complaining about that. The real problem is what? The idiots are not going and the smart people are going. What else is the impact of this tokenized culture? You are far from reality. No connection to reality. Nobody there to tell you, sorry sir, the world is different. The world is thinking differently, or you are thinking from one perspective, but there are 3 more perspectives. Right? Yeah, efficiency and performance gone down. Yes, the dissatisfaction that gets created in smart people. Customer is dissatisfied. Sorry? Risk is not visible, right? Yeah. You are living in a blind, right? Something will happen and all of a sudden you will get disrupted because there was no sensing of risk happening, right? What else? What is the impact? I am saying it's a cancer of the organization, so please go deeper. Whatever you are saying is right. Whatever you have said till now is right. I am now inviting you to go deeper. Look in the impact. Slowly the organization moves away from the ground realities. Okay? Yes? Yeah, you could actually get into trouble, right? And that has happened, right? Just one second. So, how many of you know of big, extraordinarily successful companies who are not there anymore? Lot of them, right? We know of some, but I was just reading, approximately 80% of the Fortune 500 companies of 1980 are not there. Now, those Fortune 500 companies means they were bigger than us. They had all the money. They had all the brain. But nobody connecting to the future. They got addicted to their own story. Like they said, don't read your own PR. So they lived in their own world. Right, we talk about, by the way, there is a movie I just came to know on the BlackBerry. You can see. And it talks about how they got attached, very attached to the keyboard. Remember? Most of you had, right? And if your spouse was not visible for 1 hour, it was okay. But if your BlackBerry was not visible for 1 hour, you would have a big problem, right? Yes, you are saying something. Can I get you a mic? Where's the mic? Sorry, somebody? Yeah, thank you.
Talking nice. So I was in a sales meeting and there was a lot of discussion happening on the planning and all that.
Right.
So the whole month in the initial stage they planned a lot, but I was watching them. So they planned a lot. In the last they were reviewing the operations, and so every operation review meeting I was sitting. So I asked the chief, that there's so much of discussion that happens around around planning and the execution and the, and I wonder if we can also have a discussion on the failures. I just shared with him a thought. Why don't we think about failures, so how to fail, or what could my intention was to tell them that you are always planning for success, and can we think a little differently? If something is going wrong, you know, the moment I said that, I was sharing why I raised this. I want to share an experience. Talking nice, all the people were there. They were all talking for planning, for success. But there was no success happening. And the moment I touched upon a crude point, you know, which hurt them, I was virtually taken to task.
Yes.
So I just thought I'd just share with you. It's not an easy game to actually say something that can hurt, that you know, that can not be suitable for a chief to hear that.
Definitely.
And so that's pretty, sometimes,
That's worse than
yeah,
praising Russia in White House.
yeah, talking nice is,
Right?
yeah.
But what's the damage? I want you to start seeing the damage to the organization. Time loss, yes. Opportunity loss, okay. Productivity, services. So what is the value? If you were to put a financial value to this, what is the financial value of this? Sorry? Yeah. You don't know what you're losing. Yeah. Maybe you're losing your future. Maybe you're losing the future of your organization. So that's the culture that we are in. And who creates this culture? Who creates this culture? Everybody. All of us, because we are bringing this culture from our home. This talk nice is also in our house. And by the way, all of you going to school, you survived the school because you could talk nice. Otherwise, your teacher would have still caught you and kept in the room for that assignment that you did not do, remember? You survived your schooling because of this. You survived your house because of this. So all of us have mastered talking nice. But whose responsibility is to break this? That is yours, right? Everybody caused this problem, but who is going to address it? It better be you. Otherwise, we have to keep waiting. Right? Nobody is coming from outside. So this is the main thing that you will see in 80-90% of the organizations or groups or departments. There is some 5%, 10% teams which are not into the talk nice, they are into debate mode. What is the debate mode? Debate mode means I am my point of view. I am my point of view. If you question my point of view, that means you are questioning me. If you question my point of view, that means you are questioning me. That makes you what? Enemy. What can you do with enemy? Anything. Your job is what? Destroy the enemy. Initially start with trying to destroy their point of view. If you cannot destroy their point of view, then destroy them. So how many of you have been in meetings where it almost looked like a war zone? How many of you have been in meetings where it almost looked like a war zone? Everybody speaking, nobody listening. And everybody is attached to their point of view. So in first case, I'll just come back, somebody was speaking here. So first case, talk nice. One or two people are speaking, everybody else is sleeping with their eyes open. Right? If you have been to college lectures, you know how to sleep with your eyes open. Some of you are practicing that right now also. That's okay, that's life. Right? But in talk nice, some people are speaking, nobody listening. In talk tough, everybody speaking, but nobody listening. Now, talk tough is very difficult to be in that environment. Right? It's like attacking Your idea, stupid idea, your past idea. Remember, those last 7 ideas have failed. Right? And you are thinking of a new idea. How dare you think? And that too different than me. So there's a war going on. But still, I prefer talk tough environment compared to talk nice. What is one benefit of talk tough? It's bad. I'm not recommending that. But between the two evil, I would choose talk tough. Why? Yeah, at least you're getting more ideas. Realistic. And the problems are coming on the table. Now nobody's listening, that's a different issue. But at least the problems are coming on the table. So that's the talk tough field. And this is where all organizations are. Game over. Almost all in this. This is what's happening in your organization. Either is talk nice or talk tough. Doesn't matter how many people, this is what's happening. Even if you have 5 people, by the way, this is what is happening. It's not a problem only for big companies. You're a 5 people company, this is happening. Now, if you can get out of your talk nice mode and if you can ask questions, that would be good.
I think talk nice.
Can you guys pass on the mic again? Where's the mic? Thank you. Can we get one more mic, please?
I think both of style is actually will not give the results. Talking always nicely and talking always tough
Yes.
is both is dangerous.
Yes.
But timely, if we need, there is need talking nicely, and sometimes we need to talk tough. That will give the more best results.
Yeah.
I mean to say that continuously talking tough will not give the results because nobody will accept and
Yes. Now, what you're saying is valid, but let me just remind you what I said earlier. This is not an individual phenomena. This is a field, like an electric field or a magnetic field. So, when you are in the magnetic field, the iron filament has no choice. This is what the field does to you. Right? So, it's not an individual phenomena. Remember, I started the session with, we have been over busy fixing people. Now let's move on, let's grow up and look at systems. This is about learning systems. This is about learning what's happening as a group, as a field. So what you're saying is valid, but I'm inviting you to look at it from, this is the field that is happening in the organization.
yeah.
And it's not personal.
Yeah.
You will go into that field will kind of engulf you. You will get shaped by the field. If it was individual, that's a different story. This is not individual. This is the field. This is the environment. This is the air in your office. This is the air in your house. It's a talk nice or talk tough. Yes, sir, or no, you are wrong. My opinion is the only opinion. This is a field issue. What is the cost of the talk tough environment? Conflict. There's a lot of conflict, right? What else? What is the cost of that? Sorry? Yeah, no planning because nobody can get aligned. Oh, you have an opinion, he has an opinion, we are still sorting out. Execution doesn't even come on the table, right? We are still not aligned. Should we have blue chairs or red chairs? We are still busy with that. Right? And we have already destroyed 2 people. Right? Either they have resigned physically or mentally. What's the cost of this talk tough culture? What's the cost of the talk-tough culture?
People will work without interest.
Sorry?
People will work without interest,
No
so
team.
there will be no result.
Right, yes. High attrition. What will smart people do? Again, in talk tough, what will smart people do who don't like to fight? Stay silent. Yeah, after some time they will leave the organization. Initially they will go silent. What is your opinion? I am okay. Start noticing, have some people in your groups gone silent, they have reduced their volume, they have reduced their speaking. That's what this, recently the word was created, no? Silent quitting. It has been happening since ages. The word came now. What is the cost of this? But before that, let me ask you, how many of you see this is happening in your organization? Raise your hand. Because if you can't see this, there's nothing else to discuss. Right? Yeah, either it's in talk nice, or some groups are in talk nice more, some teams are in debate more. Right? If you have a group of 5 people, you should be able to see this. If you have a group of 500 people, definitely you should be able to see, but it should be visible even if it's 5 people. You can, by the way, even ask yourself, what's the field in my house? Is it talk nice or talk tough? Everywhere, but which one is more? And what's the cost? Sorry? I didn't understand you. You said individual nature, but I didn't understand the connection.
In the family, you say, in family also the same thing. In family, sometimes it goes on an individual nature also. If someone is talking nice.
No. That's what I'm trying to point here. See, we have been so programmed, we think everything from individual perspective. We don't think system. And from last session, you were there last session? No. From last session, that's what I'm trying to do. Stop fixing individual. Then you will have some time to think of system. Our family is a system. It's a group, it's a system. There is a group dynamics there. If you stop fixing individual, you will see things beyond that. So consider different families have different culture. Some families have talk nice culture, some families have talk tough culture. Not every family has both, not necessary. Predominantly, what is the culture? Right? In my family, it's talk tough. Everybody is a leader. Right? My father was in Air Force. Right? He is a leader. Right? I have been in this transformational work for 30 years. I am a leader. I train the whole world. Only my wife doesn't listen to me. Right? My wife is in a spiritual organization. So she is a leader, right? And my mother manages all of us, so she knows better. And my children have seen all this, so they are also smart now, right? So in my family, it's more of talk tough. I just had a fight in the afternoon, so. No, that's what I am fighting with you. Stop thinking individual. When you stop thinking individual, you will start learning different kind of management. Till the time you are thinking individual, you are in the old trap. The gift that I am trying to give you is stop fixing yourself, stop fixing people, start seeing systems. Of course, it takes a lot of time to do this. I am not upset that it's taking some time. We take 1 year to work with organizations to transform the whole environment, but start listening to it. And first notice how much we convert everything into an individual issue. Every problem that comes up, we immediately go to fixing the individual. It's not an individual issue. Individuals don't exist in vacuum. They exist inside of a system. The system is getting, I'm not saying there's no fault of the individual or unke sare guna maaf. No, that's not what I'm saying. But they are being shaped by the system. Like I was talking recently, I'll just come back. So I mentioned about we did this work with Lok Ayukta in Bangalore. Lok Ayukta, for those of you who don't know, is the kind of the watchdog on the government organizations. Right, so they're supposed to make sure that there's no corruption. Not only that, there is no inefficiency. Right? So this Lok Ayukta, they're very good, very effective in many ways. There are a lot of success stories. Most of the success story is about catching corrupt people. Right? If you have read news last month or 2 months, right, there was somebody caught with 400 crores, somebody caught with 600 crores, all that stuff. So they're very, very happy. Right? What we are trying to teach them is, how about, while you keep catching the corrupt, how about looking at the system which is encouraging the corruption? They are warming up to that idea. They understand it, but they are still so busy catching the corrupt because that is immediate, visible success. But after catching corrupt for 1,000 years, what is going to happen? Corruption is still going to remain because you never address the system. Okay, great. Let me pause here, and I'm going to invite my friend. Right. Okay, can I get another mic? Okay, yes. So you want to introduce yourself? Come. Luckily he is here. I had invited him, but I wasn't sure. He wasn't here last time, but he is here today. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello everybody, great opportunity to be here. Thank you very much. My name is Anantha Krishnan. I am the CEO operations for the Calrex group of institutions.
So Calrex, some of you know. DPS, most of you know, right? So Calrex is the parent body which has the DPS school, DPS Bhopal, and how many schools? 35 schools?
55 institutions.
Oh, 55 education institutions. Okay. So my favorite industry to work in is education. And I had the privilege of being the founder consultant, I call it, for DPS Bhopal in 1994-95. Right? And then after that, we have been working many times. We call him AK, right? That's okay, right?
Absolutely.
So he and the team of trustees, they participated in our first workshop on Theory U, which was a 10-session course, over 10 weeks, including the trustees and everybody. And then we did a course for their leadership team of these 55 organizations. We had what, 27 of them?
27, initially 32 and then 27.
Right. So why don't you share whatever, you know the context that I'm talking here, right? Why don't you share, just go on the stage. Yeah,
That's okay, they can see me here.
Yeah, okay, or come here, yeah, go ahead, just share. I don't know what he's going to share, right? But go ahead and share.
So Theory U is a very beautiful concept. We started with Manoj and Ferdy, the master trainer, way back during the COVID times, right? So when we really had nothing to do, we thought how to utilize the time more productive way. So we thought let's take up a session wherein which is more productive towards the organization. So that's how we kind of came across Manoj, and we took up the session for 5 of our senior leaders, including the founder and the CEO. The initial session was very, very, it was evidently visible that there's something that we're missing otherwise in the organization. And it called for all regions to kind of bring this knowledge across to that senior team initially and then percolate it down to the nth level in the organization. So while the 5 of us started working on this, we saw it to be a uphill task to actually make mindset change, right? So we thought it's not a individualistic thing that if I work upon ourselves or if I work upon you, it's going to work that way. We thought it's more of a organization has to be networked in a cohesive manner So that's why the next the team that got introduced was to the leaders. So a set of 32 leaders were then selected at institutional level, and they were made to go through a 3-day session, which Manoj Ji himself took it. And then these leaders were then given the task of taking it down to the next level, the level coordinators, the DCs, and the team heads at the schools. So we have a team of about 1,600 plus as the workforce. So today, roughly about 600-700 people are already trained on Theory U and are practicing Theory U on a daily basis. A very beautiful concept. While that you complete the sessions yourself, you'll see the difference that it brings to you, and the kind of first thing that you would definitely stop to do is talk nice and talk tough. So the next two quadrants are amazing, and while I do not want to disclose it at this point in time because I'll be setting the bird free very early if I do it now. So let him do it his normal style, but they are really, really interesting. And the best part and the most interesting part would be the third session, which should really give insights of what have we been missing all these years. Let me just give you one last minute of what goodness it has brought to us. We are now much more human. We follow a very strong humanistic approach. We follow empathy to the core, and we do not have interpersonal issues and tussles anymore in the organization. Ideas are absolutely bang on and open. Brainstorming happens in a very, very frequent manner. So every quarter there is one brainstorming session that is done, and every 3 quarters there is a refresher training of what we have learned. So incidentally, the last refresher training happened just about a couple of weeks, and he was again present for the next set of 27 people. So when I heard that we are getting an opportunity through the CEO forum, so I just thought I should also be a part of this session, though this would be my 8th or 9th such session, but I still want to be here. That's why I'm here. Great opportunity for all of you guys. I hope you take it up too.
Thank you very much. And thank you. And it's very good that education takes a lead, right? Because the future of the world can be influenced by education. Yeah, and I love that field, and we got good friends here. So, totally, how many people have been trained? If you can just shout out the number.
So, calculating it down, about 700.
700. Okay, great. Yeah. So we started with 5 and 32, and then they have taken it forward to 700 of their staff. And recently we did some workshop with them, which is more about systems transformation, which we will be able to talk next session, not today, because today we want to do justice to this topic, right, which is the culture here. So if you for a moment stay with that your organization is in this culture, we can always fight and you may get some discount. No, not 100%, maybe 95%. There's no point in wasting time on that. And this is not for your organization. This is anywhere in the world, this is what's happening. If you are in this talk nice and talk tough culture, can you see that? Are you willing to see that? Are you willing to see that your organization is in this talk nice or talk tough culture? You are? Okay, good. How many of you are willing to see that? Thank you very much. So, and how many of you see both are non-productive? Both are non-productive. It's not very useful to be in either of them, right? So as AK pointed out, then I need to take you to the next option, right? Where do we go from here? Yes, please. Yes, sure.
I'll try to manage.
Yeah, you're good.
So I would like to know the root cause for the talk nice culture, because I have personally faced this problem a lot of times.
Yes.
And one more thing, in continuation with this question, that if I have tried to do opposite of the talk nice culture, when I used to do job, I was completely isolated and I had a lot of problems in the job.
Yeah.
So why?
You should be thanking your stars that you're alive. You just tried talking nice about Russia in the White House, right? You're lucky that you're alive, right? But you are scarred, right? So, what was your first question? Root cause, right?
Why are people choosing to be nice and not to be objective than the direct one talk?
They're not planning to die very soon. Really? They're not planning to die soon. So that's why they don't talk. See, we talked about this last time. The source of not only this, the source of the three divides also that you saw is what we call egocentric mindset. So we have, all of us as human beings, we are in the trap of egocentric mindset. What is egocentric mindset? Egocentric means thinking within a boundary. So when I say me is a boundary, my department, it's a boundary, my family is a boundary, my institution is a boundary, my city, boundary, my industry, boundary. We are trained to think within the boundary. Oh, I will take care of my, whatever that is, my group, my family, my department. What happens to everybody else? That's not my problem. We think from this perspective, right? That is the source. We call it egocentric. Ego as thinking within a boundary. So when we are thinking within the boundary, say, I have to worry about myself, and my boss is sitting here, and if I have to worry about myself, do you think I'm going to fight with him? Only when fighting with him is more important than being in his good books. So only in certain situations I will fight. Like if he doesn't give me my increment, then I will fight. If he's taking a bad decision, why will I fight? It's okay, his funeral. Till the time he is giving me good salary, good increment, I am peaceful, not giving me too much work, I am okay. He is taking a bad decision, the company will go down the tube. By that time, I will find a new job. So, people have less interest in your organization than what you think. Yeah, everybody acts that they are very interested in your organization till the time they put in the paper. Now, what is your role in that environment? We'll talk about it sometime later. But is that answering your question? Yes, sir. Yeah. So now let's look at what do we do from moving from this to non-productive side. How do we go to the productive side? We want to create a culture of dialogue. Now I know some of you think you know what is dialogue. Let me create a new definition of dialogue for this context. Whatever is your old definition, that is valid. But for this context, what do we mean by dialogue? We mean system seeing and sensing itself. Somebody tell me back. What is dialogue? System seeing and sensing itself. It's like you can't see yourself, right? You have to turn the camera around to see yourself. In the same way, the system turning the camera around and seeing itself. Now, in the company, are you there as an individual or are you there as a system? Hello? Yeah, but in our head we are individual, but really it's what? System. Right? They are not looking at you as an individual. They are looking at, what's your good name, sir? Mayur. Which company? Synergy. Which industry? Human resources. Okay. So they are looking at Mayur from Synergy, from the HR industry. They are not looking at Mayur alone. So nobody is looking at you. They are looking at you as part of a company, part of an industry, part of a system. So dialogue is about the system saying itself. Who else is there beyond you in the system? Who's there in the system? Anybody else there in the system? Hello? Who else is there in the system? The whole thing. Your colleagues, yeah, colleagues from all the stupid departments, right? If you happen to have a boss, that person also, then you have your reportees, they are also there. Customers, also part of the system. So dialogue is where people start seeing the system. For that, we have to give up that I am an individual. For you to come to this dialogue level, you have to give up being an individual and you have to see yourself as part of the system. So whatever is happening in the organization, who is creating it? The system, right? But nobody is seeing the system. Which industry? IT, right. And how many departments in your company? 5 departments, right? And which department causes maximum problem? Yeah. And your background is? Of course. The moment he said sales, you could have bet all your money that he was not from sales. Yes or no?
I would like to say that I don't know sales.
Sorry?
I don't know sales, that's why
Right. Yeah. You will be surprised that operations runs more sales than sales runs sales. That's the first thing that we teach in the companies is everybody is in sales, otherwise go home. There's no other job except sales, but that's a different story. Right? So, but can you get that the moment he said sales, you could put your money that he is not from sales? Now, if you get other heads, right, 5 department heads, if you get those 5 people here, who will they blame? Some other department. And you can bet they are not going to blame which department? Themselves. And if they blame their department, they will blame my department is the problem, but because I have some idiots from the past that I have inherited. And my boss wants to run and win the horse race, but he's not given me horses. Am I talking sense? How many of you have inherited people and you see them as the problem? So what is this dialogue? Dialogue is seeing from each other's eyes. Seeing the system from each other's eyes. And we might even do a small experiment in that. Okay? But let me pause here and ask you one question. All of us are leaders in different forms. How many heads should the leader have? How many heads should the leader have? What about customers then? What about vendors then? Only thinking of employee. You must be an employee. Yeah, only an employee thinks about employees only. Right? Employee is not the only problem on the planet. There are customers, there are vendors, there are government, right? There are many other agencies, right? He is worried about all the income tax. Government is putting in so much processes, you need 2 departments only to take care of the government headache. So there are so many people, so many systems. Everybody is seeing the system from their own perspective. Yes, no? Who is seeing the system then? Who is seeing the system? Nobody is seeing the system. They are seeing from their own head. That's why I asked you, how many heads should the leader have? The worst answer is what? 1. The worst answer is 1. There is no best answer. You can always have more and more. But the worst answer is 1. So if you are a leader with 1 head, no, you need to get some more heads. How many hearts should you have as a leader? Again, the worst answer is what? 1. You need to be able to use multiple heads, and you need to be able to sense from multiple perspectives. So as a leader, now nobody trained you in your MBA that actually what you need is many heads and many hearts. You've been trying to develop your head. No. Your head cannot be developed. It has its own capacity. You need more heads. You need more heads. Right? So as a leader, your job is to have more heads and more hearts. Yes, sir. You wanted to say something?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think head should have one head, but he is having support of so many heads, so he don't have need of another different heads.
Yeah. Only thing is, in Talk Nice, how many heads are being used? In a Talk Nice culture, how many heads are being used? 1. Okay. Now in Talk Tough culture, not how many heads are operational. There is difference between the operational and being used. Right? How many heads are operational? All. How many are really being used? 0. So in the Talk Nice and the Talk Tough, you're not going beyond 1. How do you go beyond 1? Is what we are talking about. You have to create a dialogue culture. So let's do an activity, right? We have done enough of this lecture. I am getting bored. So let's do an activity, right? So everybody, can you form a circle? You're here, circle. You can form a circle. Get together. 4 or 5 people get together, right? Form a circle around your table. If you don't have a table, you can still form a circle. See if you can restrict the group to maximum 5 people. Okay? And if you need some support, we will do. 2 people can join here. 1 person can come here. Okay, here 2 people can come here also. People from the back, why don't you jump in? Come in. Altaf. Right, come in here. Okay, so all of you are good at acting. Please remember this. Okay? Just pull a chair here. Join here. Thanks. Okay, so you have to do some overacting. Okay? So you are going to do some overacting. Now in your group, select 1 person as the CEO of this group. Sir, can you join in? Come closer. Yeah? Yeah, just 1 person as CEO. Okay. You want to join in here? Come. Okay, so you stay with it. It's okay. Okay, so 1 person from each table. Why don't you 3 come here? You join them, right? Don't get scared of them. Okay, 1 person from each table. Please stand up. The CEO. Okay. 1 person from each table. Okay. Somebody from this table, please. Okay, good. Can you guys please excuse us for 1 minute? Just go out and stand here only. Don't go anywhere. We are just going to call you in 1 minute. Okay, please, everybody. Just 1 minute. We are just going to call you. Don't go out. Don't go far away. Just be here. We'll call you in 1 minute. Okay. So now, okay, everybody. Everybody, we are going to do some real overacting, okay? Full blown overacting. First we will do for talk nice. So when talk nice happens, what do? Yes sir, yes sir. Oh, beautiful idea sir. No, best sir, we must do this. You got the picture? Can you do overacting? Yes, sir. And no laughing in between. Recently I had some overacting and in between they also started laughing. No, serious overacting. Okay, please call the team. Call the CEOs. Yeah, I'll tell you. You know what is to be done, right? Then I have to still brief them, right? Yes, please, CEOs, please come. Everybody come. Please stand there for a minute. Just stand there. Stand at the back for a minute. I will give you your information that you need. Yeah, everybody be here. Stand there for a minute. Okay. So, your role. Okay, let me explain your role. Please come in, right? You are the world expert in solving traffic problems. You are world expert in solving traffic problems. This is the management committee of Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation, and they have invited you as the expert to help them plan the Ahmedabad Prop City in a way that this traffic problem of Ahmedabad can be solved. Does Ahmedabad have a traffic problem? Okay, so you are the expert and you have been invited by, this is the Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation committee. Okay, please join the committee, they are waiting for you. You have already been given the garland and the prize, whatever gift and everything. Okay, now they are waiting for you. Can we welcome the CEOs, please, everybody? Not the CEOs, the expert. Can you welcome the experts? Yes. Okay, experts. Please join the committee and please advise the committee. Go ahead. Experts, start. Hey, come closer. They are all waiting for you, sir. Okay, go ahead. Sorry? 2 minutes. Time is 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Anything you guys have to say before I give my idea? Yes, yes. No, let's have something which is agreeable by all instead of just me saying something and we are just implementing it. So.
Everybody remember your role.
Okay, so can I know what have you been working upon?
Participants, remember your role.
So I would know what to suggest, what not to suggest, if it's already done. Training for like traffic police.
मैं देता हूँ टाइम आपको 10 मिनट में. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Let's appreciate all the experts. Let's appreciate all the experts. Okay, now we are going to game 2. Right? By the way, experts, if you have noticed, and if the team has done good acting, we were practicing game 1, which is talk nice. Right? Now the game is changing. Now each one of you is an expert. And you think you are the best expert in the world. And you also think the others are idiots. Okay? So everybody, you are the real expert, everybody else is. Okay? Same discussion, same topic, but remember you are the idiot. Sorry, you are the expert. Okay? And you are now going to practice talk tough. Talk tough means everybody speaks. Everybody speaks. And you have to make sure that your opinion wins. You have to make sure your opinion wins. Okay? Only thing, only condition, no physical violence. Otherwise, Mr. Sir will not allow me to come back again. Okay? Time starts now. Go ahead. Okay. So did you notice the difference now? 1 and 2? Doesn't it feel like the organization? But doesn't it feel, one of the two is like your organization, either the first phase or the second phase, right? Now, let's experiment with the third, dialogue. Dialogue is, you are the expert, everybody is an expert, and everybody respects everybody else. Let me repeat. You are the expert, others are also experts, you respect everybody, everybody else respects everybody. Everybody respects everybody. Clear? Yes. Now what we are going to do is, each expert will get 2 lines. Each expert will get 2 lines to say, and everybody will listen carefully. Then the other expert will speak for 2 lines, and everybody will listen carefully. Then the third expert will speak 2 lines, and everybody will listen carefully. Okay? Start.
Each part of the city has core offices, commercial spaces, industrial spaces, and then communication
Okay, allow the experts to speak. Allow the next expert to speak. Yeah, allow the next expert to speak. Okay, great. Thank you very much. Let's complete. Thank you. Let's appreciate everybody. I know some of you may not have gotten time to speak, but you get the point of the exercise, right? Okay. So let's have one or two people respond. What is the difference in this dialogue field compared to the first two fields? Yes, please. Go ahead.
The first phase when I was the CEO, I was the expert, I gave the worst idea that anybody can give. That was to demolish 50% of the population like Thanos does in Marvel movies.
Yes.
So you do the snap thing and the 50% of the population is gone.
Right.
And everybody was like, yeah, that's a great idea. We should do that. I knew inside that it was the worst idea ever, but they all agreed with that, which was
Yes.
not right. But then eventually in the last phase, when we had a dialogue with respect for everybody, we could create good ideas, and if they are implemented all together, I think the problem can really get solved because it had all the elements in it.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's appreciate that. Thank you. How many of you noticed that you had intelligent people on the table? In the last round, you realized that, oh my God, these people are really intelligent. But they were showing up as idiots in the first two sessions. Now you don't know in your company, do you have idiots or do you have intelligent people? Because nobody is listening. Nobody is listening. So how will you know whether they are idiots or intelligent people?
Basically, roundtable format works.
No. You will not speak. You have been banned for speaking. You do the program, then we will talk. Right? What works is listening. The intelligence shows up when there is somebody who is listening for that intelligence. When you are listening to the other person as an idiot, the intelligence cannot show up. Right? But you need to create a whole new culture for that. Now it's easy for me to demonstrate here, but it takes me 3 days to do it for the group and then to continue it in the organization. Okay? So this is just a kind of a glimpse of one of the 25 topics that we deal with in Theory U. This is just one topic of Theory U. Okay? So that should tell you the power and the ocean of Theory U and this transformation that's possible in organizations and society with this technology. This is like really 1%. But given the time, I'm going to pause here. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you. And I'm going to request Dixit sir to take over. And you guys can do your job. Yeah. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Manoj sir. So our next session, as we have announced last month also, that our next session will be on 20th of July, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., same format.
How many of you planning to come? And you can invite other CEOs and senior leaders from other.
And how many of you who have come for the second time could feel that it is good that we came for second time? So this feeling, please transfer it to others also. Let them come for. This is all about Theory U, and whatever Manoj sir is sharing is a teaser or a glimpses. We would also like you to join us for a detailed training program, which is also scheduled on 28th and 29th of July. Since you all are CEOs, we need to have your calendar booked in advance. This will be a paid program for you and your team. You all are open to learn something and have a deep dive into Theory U. This is a special program. Whatever you have been experiencing for these 2 weeks and the next week, you can have an entire world tour over there for Theory U. So thank you very much once again, Manoj sir. Let us all clap for us that in our feedback at AMA, it normally comes that AMA should do these things, and program committee chairman like Prashant Bhai, Jainil Bhai, they always talk about that, why can't we work for CEOs? And then there was a dialogue, as Manoj sir always shares, that will CEOs come? So congratulations to you all that in 2 Thursdays, last month and this month, more than 120 CEOs have come at this place. And yes, we are committed for those CEOs who would like to take an experience for the education, for their learning, for their mind to work over here and take it forward to their office for the culture transformation, for employee transformation, for business transformation. So welcome to the journey of transformation. Please book your date for the paid training program. Details would be available soon on website, but since you all are here, I am sharing this with you. Block your calendar. And this is a free program. This also date is available, and please book yourself and please bring others also. Thank you very much once again. See you next month. By that, keep learning, keep growing, and have a best theory you in your life. Thank you.